All right, good morning. So, where we left off yesterday, we broke above that 450 level. And looks like we closed around 452 area. I'm mark the high of yesterday. It's the local high. The furthest that we've been lately is 452. So any sort of break above that would be bullish. Look for a continuation up. I might pull out to a further time frame. We also have that 450 level. I like to watch that a lot. In terms of like another potential area to watch, you can see this 453.5 area. As you can see, it was top here, rejected, came up, kind of rejected, broke above it, bounced off, acted as support here, support for the body of this candle a bit here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, kind of a resistance here. So I'd say either that or like somewhere between 456 and like, I guess that's kind of a wide range. But yeah, that like 456 to like 457 area would also be like another one I would watch for there. This is if we continue our move up. I am gonna pop down to the 1 hour time frame here. Whoa, hold up. This. So we're kind of opening inside of yesterday's range. Looks like I might have missed that. So that's yesterday's high. Yesterday's low is down here. About where it opened. We're sort of within this range that we've been in, so ideally I'm looking looking to the upside. I'm looking for a break of this pre-market high that we've touched here 3 times. You know, if we can break that 451 level. We never closed, I guess, on the hourly chart. We didn't close above it yesterday. Didn't really close above it on Friday. So we're definitely seeing some resistance at that 451 level. I think if we could get up above that, we could see a continuation probably up to that 452. Shrink this down here. As you can see in pre-market, we kind of bounced off that 450 level just about. Yeah, pretty much to the dot, 450. I'll probably adjust that line, so that's where I want it. Yeah, so in terms of downside, if we break below 450, I'd look for maybe continued downside to 448. We break above this 451, I'd look for upside to 452. If we break above 452, then I think we could continue higher, because that would be pretty bullish, and that would set a new high for, I don't know, what, like a new 52-week high or something. So I might turn this music up, down just a little bit. Also, there is some data dropping at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm not sure. I would prefer not to be holding a position when that happens, because that can be a bit of a mess. Get this down. So yeah, we're kind of in this range here, similar to yesterday. If we can break above this, I'm looking for continuation to the upside. If we fall below our support of 450, I would look for probably a move down. Now you can see how 450 has been like a key level, failing to break, breaks above it, continues up. Now we're opening kind of in between this range of 451 and 450. So break up or break down, that's what we're looking for. In response to that, I might get some options up on SPY, and not today's but tomorrow's 451 calls. And maybe some 450 puts. The reason I chose the strike prices is if we do break above 451, I'm looking for a retest. If we're retesting that 451 level, then this should be a pretty solid choice. I'd either go for 451 or 452 if that's your target. But if we can come down and retest 451 and then make a move up, that entire move up is going to be in the money. That contract premium will probably move pretty nice, similar to 450. We break 450, come up and retest. I'd look to get into a 450 put and ride it down for some nice premium. Yeah, we'll see here. I'm gonna throw the hourly chart on this bottom frame. We can kind of keep things in perspective here. Alright, we got the open. Let's see where it goes. So yeah, like I said, there's some news dropping at 8. So in the first 30 minutes of the day, and that is, we have business inventories from May, we have home builder confidence index from July, and then the Fed Vice Chair Barr speaks on fair lending practices. Not sure how much any of that will sway the market, but in my experience, we typically have some sort of volatility around those events. So it can kind of invalidate some of your trades in the moment. I'm gonna turn up my brightness. I'm getting some glare here. Can't really see what's going on. Computer's being real slow here. All right, there we go. So it looks like we're coming down to test this 450 level. You could potentially look to see a bounce. It looks like we are bouncing off that 450 level a bit. I'm looking at this on that on the hourly time frame. It almost looks like between Friday and Monday, almost looks like a double top around this 451 area. Came up, failed to close higher, came up, failed to close higher. I don't want to let that give me a bias, because that's what happened to me yesterday, and I ended up taking some losses because I had a bias. So I'm gonna try to just trade purely off what the chart's showing me, but that is something I'm noticing on this hourly chart here. Kind of like a double top here, 2 touches, failed to break higher and close above that level. Just looking at this, it looks like some of the bigger tech names are having a red day. Apple, Google, Microsoft. Looks like Tesla's down a little bit. Netflix is ripping. Is it really at 452? Holy. We got that little bounce off that 450 area. We're approaching this 451. It's the pre-market high. So we'll see if we can bust above that. I'd really love to see us clear that, pull back, and take a call. Otherwise, if we break this 450 support, which is kind of our support through the pre-market and the first 5 minutes of the day, if we break below that, I could see a continued move downwards. So it's kind of reiterating what I'm thinking here. We'll see if it plays out. So we opened right around this 450.5 price, and it looks like we're kind of struggling to get above that opening print. Yesterday, that was kind of the whole play, is that we retested the opening print on a pullback and never came back down. That was essentially the lowest point of the day. The opening print can be kind of an indication of bullish or bearish momentum. If you never go below the opening print, that's pretty bullish. You struggle to get above the opening print, that's pretty bearish. So here we're pushing up into this 451 level. So we did clear it, and this might set us up for a nice move upwards. We'll see. So we closed a little bit above that opening print. There you can see we kind of, the miniature wick, retesting it a little bit. Continuing to make new highs, pushing up into that pre-market high of 451. Whatever way we break out of this, the downside or the upside, I think will continue unless that data at 8 a.m. Sways things one way or another. But there is an opportunity to play like a put scalp from this 451 level, because you see we've rejected from it quite a few times. You could look at that. You could look at playing a little putski. Especially with how wrecked this premium has gotten on this 450 put. It's really low. If it did reject and pulled back to 450, you would get quite a big move. But we're showing some strength. I'd like to see us break out. So personally, I'm not gonna trade a put here. Maybe I'll regret that. Maybe it does pull back to 450. But there we go. That's kind of what I was looking for. Is we break above. Now I'm looking for a retest. We've officially broken out of that range. That's beautiful. So we've yet to close above it. So we'll see if we can close above it. We might not. Might not on this candle. Might get a little bit of a pullback and then a continuation. We'll see. So depending on how this candle closes and how the next candle is opening slash what the price action is doing, I might take a put as a little scalp. As you see, we're kind of struggling to close above it. Volume's coming in, and a little bit of selling is happening up at that level, which is pretty consistent with what we've seen the past 2 trading days and in pre-market. So if we close below, next candle comes up, struggles to push higher, I might look for a scalp to the downside, but I wouldn't be necessarily holding it for like a long trade. Just see if I can't make a quick little percentage. So we'll see. But I don't want to jump into anything. I think that bit me yesterday a little bit. So here we open above. Yep. So if we can retest this 451 level, it looks like we might not. So I pulled up the 452 contracts because that's my next price target. Premiums are a little lower. I think there's more gain to be had actually if you could catch a bounce off 451, ride it up to 452 with these contracts. We do have 15 minutes until the data drops in terms of like housing inventory. I believe that's what it was, right? Home builder confidence, excuse me, and business inventories, that's what it was. So I'm watching this pretty closely. We did open above it. Not really the retest that I'm looking for. And me being, you know, waiting for that retest, I might miss this move. It might not. But I'd expect us to pull back and hit this before making our move up to 452. And I could be entirely wrong on that. The reason why I'm not jumping in a call on this candle is We opened right at support, resistance turn support, and we're kind of seeing a lot of like that top wick. So I'd rather not buy on this candle. I'd rather see us close higher and then on maybe the next candle pull back into this range for a bounce. So we'll see. Excuse me. About 2 minutes left on this candle, and then there's only one more 5-minute candle that will print before, excuse me, there'll be 2 more before 8 a.m. So that kind of makes me a little nervous to get into this trade if it shows me the opportunity. If I do get into it, yeah, we'll see. I might just trim before 8 a.m. or just set like a stop that hopefully doesn't get blown up. That's if we do have the volatility that could accompany that news. I'm not sure if we will or won't, but I prefer to play it safe. I've been burnt by news coming out that I wasn't aware of, and it just swinging wildly in the other direction. So I prefer to be aware and have a heads up on that than to be caught blind. So yeah, if you took that initial 450 bounce, you're probably doing all right. That moved pretty nice, especially if you looked at like a 450 call or something. If you took that bounce, that was a nice mover. All right, so here we have it. We're opening a little bit higher. I'm really looking for a pullback to 451. Price action's a little concerning for me, considering that we're like not showing a ton of strength above this level. I'm gonna put a buy at like what, 0.86. Ooh. Yeah, I might put it at... Alright, so we got a fill. I'm gonna put my stop at 7.5, so that's about maybe a little over 10%. That's another thing I'm learning as well, is like giving my stop loss, you know, positioning my stop loss to allow my position some room to move without getting stopped out too early. If you perfectly like bottom or top tick, you know, a move, good on you, but I found that I usually need to give myself a little bit of a cushion to allow things to play out here. So there we go, dropping pretty low here. I didn't get stopped out on that. But I would like to see some buying come back in. It makes me a little nervous. So we do have about 1 more minute left in this candle, and then one more 5-minute candle before that news drops. I am a little nervous, I won't lie. I am kind of nervous that I won't get a move before the news drops, and I kind of want to be out of this position when that drops. So I mean, we'll see how this closes and how the next candle kind of reacts, but I might get out of this a little prematurely just to be safe. So we did get some volume coming up. It looks like we definitely got some buying in this area. I'd really love to see us make a strong close and then this second candle rip a little bit higher. So but we're yet to set a new high. So we'll see. I think I might give this candle a couple minutes. But I'll probably cut it before we get close to 8. I just really don't want to get caught in some volatility, especially with like a limit stop order. It might not fill, and then if that happens, you can get a move against you pretty quick. Or pushing up a bit. I'm actually just gonna raise my stop to like break even, and if we can continue to push up, that would be beautiful. But like I said, I am gonna be out of this position before 8 a.m. Yeah, looks like we're kind of struggling to break that high that we've set. Volume is kind of low so far. If we set a new high, I think this premium will react very nicely. We're just kind of hanging out there. It's a stalemate. So yeah, that wicked down a bit, but my stop loss gave me enough room to breathe, luckily. So pretty happy with how this is playing out so far. I mean, this is a small move, and I probably won't let it play out in its entirety. Just practice, I guess. So what is it, 7:58? I'm gonna give this just a little bit more time, and I'm gonna cut it. Looks like I have to remove my stop loss. All right, so I got out of that position. That was a super small move, but like I said, there's data being dropped in 2 minutes, so I don't want to hold a position into that. And yeah, theory behind it, you have this 451 level, full number. Struggled to close above it on the hourly chart the past 2 trading days. It was the pre-market high. We busted above it. We opened above it. We closed above it, opened above it, came back and pulled back into that area. That's where I took calls. That was the theory behind that move. Ideally, if we didn't have news dropping, I would have liked to hold this. I would have set my stop loss, moved it up to break even as I did, and then held. You can see it's moving nicely now. But ideally, I would have held and looked for that 452, yesterday's high, as my target to take profit. We're shooting up here, so maybe the news coming out today is good or bullish. So yeah, looks like I could have held. Look at this, it's moving very nicely. But that was a risk I didn't want to take because you don't know. So if this rips up and hits my target, I'm gonna try my best not to have FOMO. But really not another trade unless we break above. If we break above 452, it's the same plan as this, right? If we break above yesterday's high, then we're officially out of yesterday's range. I would look for a retest of that level again, and maybe continuation up to this area, or like 453 or so. I usually look for like moves in dollar increments. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, had I held, this would have been a very nice move. I would have been up, close to $30, a little over 20. I took a $7 profit, so like I said, try not to have FOMO. I secured a small profit, and I didn't want to hold through news coming out, so I stuck to my plan. Subaru announces retirement. Oh. Yeah. Dollar General violated federal labor law. All right. Well, if you got the bounce at 450 and held through all this, you are a champion and you've officially 2x'd your investment. I'm pretty happy with my bounce off 451. Ideally, I would have held it a little longer, but I didn't want to risk things. So I took a small profit when I could have had a pretty nice one. A little bit of salt, but we're alive. We're in the green, barely. Something I'm considering, we haven't had much of a pullback. We are slowing down. Would be a scalp, a put scalp off this 452 level. Not certain I'll take it. It's something worth considering. I think the only reason I am considering is because I missed a lot of this move. Yesterday was a red day, so I'd like to recover some of that. We'll see. But yeah, that move real nice. If you got in down here and you held it up here, that's a very nice move. Well over $30 on that. From my entry, it was 8.6. That's beautiful. That's a $31 profit at this moment. You know, that's a almost like a 50% gain. So that moved very nicely. I hope somebody caught that. So much of trading is just patience. It's crazy. The majority of trading is just sitting here waiting. So I'm really just looking to see us touch this level. I think kind of got a drop in volume. Price action isn't as strong. I mean, it's pretty strong, but I think we will see a pullback off this 452. That's yesterday's high. So pretty strongly that there will be some resistance there, at least for a quick scalp, which is kind of what I'm looking for. So if we can come up and touch it, give it a little touch. But I don't want to chase. This candle's about to come to a close, so we'll see. It might pull back from here without actually fully touching that level, and that's likely. We'll see if we can push up and give it a test before pulling back. But we are showing kind of some weakness on that move up, some exhaustion. So I'd really like to see us touch. And then I'd play it as a scalp. So if it starts moving in the direction that I'd like, I might not take profits immediately, but I might move my stop loss and just keep that tight to try to prevent any sort of a loss, but hopefully give myself enough room to let it play out a little bit. So we are kind of failing to go lower. I would expect a retest of this level, yesterday's high, before we pull back. So it looks like we might get it up in here. I'll probably get in here soon. I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna set my stop at break even and just see and let this play out. This is counter trend, so I should just take it as a scalp. Ideally, I don't get stopped out here, but we'll see. I did. So that was break even. There's nothing there. And I probably set my stop a little too close, but we might actually get a chance to get a better entry on this if we fully retest that 452 level. Just get a little bit better of a entry price. So yeah, if a good opportunity presents itself, I might re-enter this trade. But nothing that I want to rush into. It does look like this move up has kind of exhausted itself a little bit. So I would expect a bit more of a pullback, but nothing's ever certain. I mean, you could even argue that this is like the tiny little bull flag forming and it'll break up to the upside, you know? That's a possibility. Like I said, taking the put here is counter to the trend. We are in an uptrend. So a little bit more risky. Seeing the failure to break lower of this like 451.5 level makes me a little hesitant to enter another put. Also, this price action is slowed down a lot. We're kind of just chopping in like a, I don't even know, like a 20-cent range or something. So here we go, pushing up a little bit. I am taking entry here. My stop loss will be like right at that 0.88 level. I can't see a damn thing. There we go. Actually, I am going to close that because I want to give this a little bit of room to breathe. I'm just gonna watch this closely. We bounce here again, I'll probably just close out. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a profit there. As a quick scalp, I didn't want to try to hold something counter to the trend, even though we are showing a bit of weakness up here. But we're kind of failing to break that level right there. We've bounced off it twice now. Each time we come down and touch it, we bounce off of it. So I mean, you can see here. I'm not saying we don't pull back, but when I'm trading counter to the trend, if it's not moving the way I want it kind of quickly, you know, if it didn't break that level, if it did on this candle, like it broke below that, I would have moved my stop up. I would have held that. But I'm not sure that we get a continued move downwards. It's possible. it's just not really a gamble I wanted to make with the weak price action we're seeing and the failure to kind of make a new low. So I got out for a super small gain, but I'm up 10 on the day. Nothing crazy. I would have liked to have held that position. I would have felt more confident had there not been some news coming out. It didn't affect the price negatively, as you can see. But that would have been a very nice play, as you can see off this. You can see how the premium moved off this candle here, where I got in up. You know, it was a $30 move and less than $1 gain in stock price. So looks like we are getting a bit more of a pullback. There we go. We broke below that low. We're setting a new low. It doesn't want to break that 451.5 level. And yeah, a bit of like a bull flag here forming. Still respecting that bull flag. See which way it breaks. It's got to go somewhere. But all right, well, ooh. Ooh, look at this. Is he gonna break out? Oh man. Alrighty, well, I think I'm gonna log off for the day. I took 2 small trades. Really wish I held that, but I mean, I'm not gonna wish that I held it because I stuck to my plan. I sold before the data drop to be safe, but holding it would have been the play. And then took a super small scalp kind of counter trend up here. I guess technically I took 2. One I broke even from setting a stop. One I took a very small, like $4 profit. So it's kind of to be expected with this price action in here. It's not really doing much. Your premiums are not gonna really move, as you can see. But yeah, I hope somebody either caught that 450 bounce or the bounce off 451 after we broke it. Either one of those would have been a really solid move. But yeah, nice to be on the winning column after some blips yesterday for sure. I feel like I came in today with less bias, clearer plan, stuck to that plan, and it worked. So definitely feel good about that after bouncing back from yesterday. With that said,